Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Darwin Mountain Bike Life. Today we're going to be preparing a chain to be Teflon wax dipped. It's something that one of the other guys put me onto. I've found it to work really well. This chain has lasted me on my hardtail, it's lasted me 7 months, which is really good. I did use a chain wear indicator, it's at the 0.5 mark, it's definitely due to be changed. So when you buy a chain, it actually comes with a grease already on it. So what you want to do first up is you want to strip it back to bare metal. Now there is a process behind it. It does take a fair while, but once you've stripped it back to bare metal and you've done your initial dip, cleaning it and re-waxing it is actually quite easy after that. So it's just the initial setup and yeah, there you go. So anyway, let's get into it. All right guys, so first things first, you need to try and strip all the existing grease off of the brand new chain that you've bought from the local bike shop. So you need to take it out of there. Even comes with a cheeky brand new quick link, which I always like, always a handy thing to have. So you need to take it out of here. And yeah, I can definitely feel that grease already, and that's fine. So we'll just put it back on top there, try and keep the table a little bit clean. You can see it all glistening and shining there on my hands. So the process that I've been shown before is you strip it off in petrol, then you soak it in degreaser, and then once it's back to bare metal, to get rid of any residual petrol or degreaser or anything like that, you use methylated spirits or isopropyl alcohol. So these ones will not leave a residue. So first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to get a container. I'm going to pop my chain into that. And then we're going to add some petrol. So I just keep this petrol around at home because I've found that petrol is great for cleaning parts. None of this mucky other stuff. So what we're going to do is just put a little bit in there, just until it's covered, which it is. Don't know if you can see that, but it is covered in there. So there we go. All right. So I can see that the petrol is actually starting to work on it already. Now, put the lid on, give it a bit of a shake. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to leave it. So I'm going to go to work, I'm going to leave it like that, as it is, and we'll come back afterwards. Yeah, I'll come back after work, give it another shake, see how it is, and then if it's stripped off most of the existing grease, then we'll change it over and we'll go ahead and plonk it in the degreaser. Alright, so we'll see you later. Hey guys, so we're back again, and yeah, it's been about 8 hours later, so went to work and came home, and I've gotten out a couple of extra things that we'll need for this process. So we are using like petrol and degreaser and a bit of methylated spirits for this process, but we need to be able to discard of it and discard of it safely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour off into here. I even got myself a nice big funnel. So I'm going to pour the petrol off into that bottle. And I've got a tray here just to catch any drips because I am working inside. The area is nice and ventilated, got the fan on, part of apartment living. So I'm just going to pour off this petrol. As you can see, that petrol is nasty. So, and that was from a brand spanking new clean chain. So that's just the factory grease on it. There we go. Now I'll just fish out the chain. Looking nice and shiny. So I'm just going to put that inside the tray and then make sure that everything's out of that. Okay, so now it needs to go and degrease it for a while. So what we're going to do, I'm going to put the lid on that. So as you can see, this is a 1.5 litre bottle, and it only used about that much petrol in that particular container. So, and that was nice and covered, and yeah. All right, so pop the chain back in there. Get some degreaser. This is just your super cheap degreaser. Fill it up until it's covering the chain. And that is covering the chain. Alright, and give it a bit of a shake. Alright, so what we have to do now is we'll leave it for a little while longer. I think probably about half an hour should do it, whereas petrol you leave it to soak for maybe about, I don't know, 8 hours or something like that. Well, that's what I did anyway, so it's in there, we'll leave it for half an hour, and yeah, we'll come back and see how it is at the end. Alright, so one thing that I'm going to do while I'm waiting for that is I'm actually going to get my little crock pot going. Now, what I have in here is paraffin wax, and oh, it's a little bit stuck in the pot. So this is just an old 1.5 litre crock pot that I bought from Woolies. I'm pretty sure you can still get them. And what I've got in here is 500 grams of paraffin wax that I bought from Spotlight, and it's got 50 grams of PTFE powder or Teflon powder, which I put in there as well and given it a stir. As you can see, I've used this one a fair bit before because I have tested this myself and I really like it. So I've just got that in there. So what you do, put it all together, we'll flick it on just on low. In the meantime, what you can do is go and get a wire coat hanger, because you will need that, and I've cut it to size so it'll actually fit in there. What you do is you loop your chain on that. I'll show you that later. And yeah, so we'll just let that melt the wax, and yeah, we'll go from there. Hey guys, so we're back again. It's been half an hour. The chain has been sitting in the degreaser, so we're just going to go through the same process again of just getting rid of that and fishing the chain out, and then we're going to move on to the next stage. So got my container again, put any of the offshoots in. I did just give it a bit of a swish beforehand, so it's a little bit bubbly. So just putting all of that into there. I'm going to get out the chain. So this particular degreaser, I'm pretty sure it's a detergent-based degreaser, judging by the bubbles on it. It's quite slippery, so there's that, that's all the bubbles and so forth. Put that there. Get a lid on that. Oh, that's separating nicely. Almost looks like a delicious cocktail. Wonder if 1 Mile will start selling that. Alright, cool. So put that to the side, and yeah, seeing as it is so bubbly and everything, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rinse it off very quickly in water before we move on to the next stage, which I'll just describe to you and I'll just go ahead and do. So what I've got here is a clear container. I have actually used this before. There's a little bit of grime and crap and everything in it. But with the clear container, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the methylated spirits in there. Yet again, it's going to go in there and it's going to cover this. Now what you're doing is you're rinsing your chain to get any residual stuff off of it. So at the moment, you know, it's got this film from the degreaser. So what we're doing is we want to remove that, but I'm going to go give it a rinse off up under the water just to get rid of that as well. Anyway guys, yeah, we'll come back once it's in the metho and we'll go from there. So my chain is all dry, it's completely bare metal. Now the little setup that I've got my little 1.5 litre crock pot with the PTFE powder and paraffin wax mix in it. The way that I've got it set up is I actually dangle the chain straight off the top of a handle, like this is my stovetop. So, and what that does is when I actually take it out, I can then hang it back up on this chain and any residual drips just go straight back into the pot, so I'm not having any wastage. It's absolute gold. Alright, so we'll just dump this in. Give it a few swishes, because all the PTFE powder sits at the bottom. Alright, lots of bubbles. So you can see there's lots of bubbles coming up, and that would be probably a mixture of air, probably any residual alcohol, like methylated spirits, is just burning off. That's okay. So yeah, we'll leave that in there for about 15 minutes and until it stops bubbling, and yeah, we'll see how we go. Okay, well it's been 15 minutes. All the bubbles have stopped, and what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to lift it out carefully. You can see the hot wax dripping off, and then I just hang it off of there. Hey presto, and it's just all dripping straight back down into the pot. Pot's flicked off, that'll harden over. I then put the lid on once it's cooled, and I'll put it away for next time, and it's all good to go. So yeah, just leave the chain, because it's mountain biking, I just leave the chain as is, and yeah, then it's all good to go. Hey guys, so yeah, it's all finished, it's all done. You can see it's actually still quite stiff, so what I do is I then you know, just give it a little bit of a wiggle, and you take these off and just poke them through the little holes at the end, just pokes out that little tiny bit of wax that's left there, and yeah, I just throw it straight on the bike, and then hey guys, so yeah, it's all finished, it's all done. You can see it's actually still quite stiff, so what I do is I then you know, just give it a little bit of a wiggle, and you take these off and just poke them through the little holes at the end, just pokes out that little tiny bit of wax that's left there, and yeah, I just throw it straight on the bike. So what I should probably mention is what if you're just re-waxing your chain and not doing it for the very first time? So what you got to do is you got to get your kettle, you boil it, then what I've done is I've actually taken off my 12-speed off my other bike, and you get a colander, and you or you know, a strainer of some sort. You grab your chain, including 2 quick links, and you put them in there, and yeah, then you pour the boiling water over the top of it, and that just takes away all the wax that's on the surface, all the dirt and everything like that. Still leaves a bit of the residual parts behind, and leaves some of the Teflon in there as well. So all you do is just put it over the sink and just pour the water over it once it's finished boiling. Hey guys, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, if you did, give it a thumbs up, and consider subscribing to the channel. Subscribing to the channel does help me grow it bigger and better for you, so that's something that would be really wonderful if you could do. A little disclaimer again, this is not my original idea. I'll leave a link in the description down below to a much longer video on the ins and outs and how it works and everything. I believe it's a guy in South Australia, I think. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, we'll see you next time.